8 legs a week. Vern laid in bed, groaning in agony, for his chest was filled with dust and phlegm and fluid. He had pneumonia that could only be treated with the new invention of anti-serum therapy. The stock market had crashed. The university had to lay him off with nothing in his bank account and no prospect to pay for simple necessities like medicine and food. His wife, Savannah, came in. "Vern, I'm back. Back from where? I got a surprise for you." "With what money? You know we have nothing." "I got a job at the Rising Sun. I sold all of our family heirlooms." She raised a finger and added, "Now don't you dare get mad, because you are going to take this medicine from this here doctor, and you're going to go for that apprenticeship for Edison." She neared him with each word. "You're going to march on down there in full health, and by God." She got closer and closer until she sat by his side, pulling out a small ring. "You're going to get back on your feet in no time to celebrate our anniversary." She kissed him and then said, "Vern, you didn't think I'd sell our wedding rings, would you?" She put it on her finger. "Clients don't like it when you wear a wedding ring like that. It scares them off, makes them feel less special." She rolled her eyes and looked at the ground. Tears began to well up and pool, and they overfilled her eyes until she buried her face in Vern's shoulder, sobbing. "It's going to be all right," he said to Savannah, who wiped away her tears and took a deep breath. "Yes, you're right," she answered. "The doctor's waiting. I better go get him." The doctor came in wearing an old suit and scratched glasses. He had a suitcase and instruments and gloves, the very signature family doctor kind of stuff. He recommended that Vern be in the hospital and be treated for a week. Vern and Savannah agreed to it and paid the bill. Vern walked out wearing real clothes for the first time in 7 days. Clothes that made him walk tall and even sing. Shoes that tapped into the sunset, with his wife in a coat that was not too warm or too light, and a hat that sent his brim outwards, and he even got a shave. "Savannah," Vern said to his beloved, "I want you to quit your job. I know you hate it, and I know we'll need the money, but I'm going today." "Where?" she asked him, wondering what on earth he had planned. "To West Orange. The man himself visited my bed 2 nights ago." "Who?" "Edison." He smiled. "No." She didn't mean to say anything doubtful. "Yes." She laughed and jumped into his arms. She was going to start a bakery with the money she had been saving. Now she could focus full time on that pursuit. West Orange hired Vern, who got sent to East Union a few states over to help a rich old lady out. A Rutledge widow who was simply desired to be called Mrs. Rutledge. She had a fortune to spend, and she had been a huge donor to West Orange for a long time. Vern came with his equipment to service her every need. He thought the old lady to be quite odd, but he desperately needed this work. He was advanced in the ways of electrical technology, spending many weeks on electrifying whole towns along the L&N Railroad. He helped TVA maintain their dams, and he did it all for Savannah. She was to him the light in the dark, the music of the rain, and his best friend. He needed her to be happier, for Savannah had begun some nasty habits. Oh, she did what was passable at that time, of course, but Vern never did much more than reefers and moonshine. They forgave their own sins to make up for their troubles, but those days were over. They no longer needed to. Mrs. Rutledge kept looking at Vern while he worked. It was like having 2 fingers on your head at all times, 2 eyes which seemed to glitch in the matrix. She watched and watched as he calibrated this, insulated that, and did every task laid out to schematic. Vern toiled and toiled until the work was complete on Monday, April 3rd. There were ferns all around the room, and when the week had ended, Vern blew his nose. He noticed some blood. He blew his nose some more, and dust got into his nostrils. He sneezed a sneezing fit for 3 minutes. The ferns surrounded him in the basement of Rutledge Manor, and Mrs. Rutledge, she had placed the plants to obscure the machines themselves, and she pulled the lever while Vern sneezed. She brought out a tuning fork. She struck Vern with it on his frontal lobe. "Now, Vern," her voice did not make any sense to him, "I need you to stay perfectly still." Vern's eyes closed, though he remained conscious. He began to feel his skull vibrate. His nose tickled and finally sneezed one last bloody sneeze when Mrs. Rutledge said, "Oh, if I'm to do this right, I ought to get more like you." She held one hand over the tuning fork and continued, "I need more like you. I'm terribly sorry you had to die. Was it Vernon?" She looked over to a dead Vern, face covered in blood, lying down, face buried in the floor's carpet. "It was a pity you had to die, Vern." Mrs. Rutledge croaked in her native alien tongue, distorted beyond earth familiarity with frequencies no earthlings could hear. "Looks like I should donate more to universities and the major technological labs." She drank some tea and slurped it like a child does her soda. She giggled. She put on some music on her gramophone machine. She laid that 78 RPM record on the table and let it spin. "Dinah, is there anyone finer in the state of Carolina? If there is, then you know her. Show her to me." The singer sang in the halls of Rutledge Manor that led to the downstairs entryway to her secret spy hub. "Daniel will be mine." She shut off her lights and slept just fine, knowing how well fed her baby tarantulas would be.